How's it going, Mandy?
Good,
I'm
how are
Chris
you?
Merkel. I'm coming to interview here at Cayuga Medical Center. Um, so I really like the place. It's awesome. I'm pretty familiar with it. Graduated from Ithaca College.
Oh, great.
Um,
Okay, so why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
so I'm from Rochester, New York, about 2 hours from Ithaca. I graduated from Ithaca College in 2019, and was very familiar with Cayuga Medical Center. Um, I played a lot of sports growing up. I was always part of a team. Once sports ended, joined a lot of other groups, communities, and tried to become a leader in those. So I've got some leadership experience. Trying to think of what else I do in my free time. I love to travel. Love watching sports. Love hanging out with my family.
Awesome. Okay, why don't you tell me a little bit about some of the strengths you think you have right now?
So some of the strengths that I have. First one would be being a new grad. A lot of research I've done in school, up to date on a lot of evidence-based practice, things like that. And I've seen in places that I've gone for some of my clinical educations that not all therapists are up to date on their evidence-based research. So I take a lot of pride in that. I always try to do some research on my own whenever I wasn't in school. Learn new things, something that I might see online or that a friend has told me about, like a diagnosis that I've never heard of. Do some research on that. So if I do ever encounter it, I will have like some idea of what I'm doing.
Great. And weaknesses?
Some weaknesses. One would be clinical expertise. Just being a new grad. What I think is most important is the amount of hours that you log in the clinic, things like that, and learning from your peers and learning from your patients. Another thing that I would say is a weakness of mine is my organization. It's not a like personal organization. I know how I organize things, but when I work in a team, some other people don't usually like the way how I organize, and it's always been different wherever I've gone.
Okay.
But I think that turns into one of my biggest strengths is my adaptability because I've gone from 4 different clinical education places where they've told me how I should be better organized in their own clinic. And I was able to adapt and figure out what I needed to do to become more efficient in that clinic, and that's changed everywhere I've gone. So it's always evolving.
Great. And what interests you in this job?
So I've heard a lot about Cayuga Medical Center, obviously being from Ithaca College. I've had a lot of professors who have worked with Cayuga Medical or at Cayuga Medical. I have a lot of friends who have gone there for like physical therapy, things like that, and only great reviews. The biggest thing though that I was interested in is the sports section of your clinic, orthopedics and sports, but mainly sports because I know that there's not a lot of sports based physical therapy in the area. And I know that there's a lot of opportunity around here with the high school, Cornell, and Ithaca. And I think that it could be taken more advantage of with more clinical expertise. So that's why I really got my gears going and wanted to apply here to work here.
Okay, great. And what experiences have you had that would prepare you for this job?
So I've had 4 clinical education courses, 3 8-week long ones and one 12-week long one. At my first clinical, I had the opportunity of working with a minor league affiliate team of the Baltimore Orioles, working alongside their athletic trainer who was doing a lot of joint mobs and things like that, not only PT related. There were a lot of modalities there, but the thing that interested me was how athletes responded to treatment. So that's what really got me going into sports physical therapy. And myself and the athletic trainer down there have remained in contact, and he's always telling me what I should be looking into. He goes to a lot of physical therapy continuing education courses that he thinks that I'll benefit from in the future. So he gives me a brief synopsis, says do some research on these things. And he's given me a really good insight on how to work with athletes, and he's had a lot of friends in the athletic training and physical therapy realm of practices that have worked with athletes. And he says that it was most rewarding for him because they want to get better. So it makes my job easier, but they're a little bit more difficult to work with in other planes.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you see yourself in 3 and 5 years?
So I see myself still working for Cayuga Medical. I'm a very loyal worker. all of your company's views align perfectly with mine. So I definitely want to be here, but I definitely want to grow as a physical therapist. I want to continue my education through continuing education courses. And I want to build more of a team-based atmosphere in the area for sports physical therapy. I know that there aren't too many around here, but within Cayuga Medical, we could get a few therapists to be working with these sports teams and develop a strong relationship with the schools, things like that. That's where I see myself in 3 to 5 years working on that program.
Okay. And do you have any questions for us?
I guess the only questions that I have are like what a typical work day would be for a new grad or a new hire like myself, and where most of your referrals are coming from for the sports physical therapy aspect of it. Other than that, I think I'm all set, and like I said, you've got a great place here, and I hope we can talk in the future.
Cool.